if you want to talk about Syria being torn apart, this is about the, let's say, the geography, not about the society. The society is unified, so we don't have problem regarding this. So we can look at Syria as unified as long as the people are unified. Being torn apart, this is occupation. Different part of Syria being occupied by the terrorists with the support of the West, mainly the United States and their allies. So if we want to talk about the future of Syria, we don't take them into account. Talk about the political processes, this is going to be only Syrian political process. We don't take into account the interests of any other country regarding something which is internal. If you talk about the war, it's becoming now an international war, because that's how it started. Actually, it wasn't only about the government in Syria. The government in Syria is independent. We have good relations with Russia, with China and other countries. And the United States wanted to redraw the map of the world politically and maybe militarily. So Syria was one of the main battlefields to redraw this map, at least in the Middle East. That's why when you talk about those interests, this is a fight between these powers. The main power, the United States and their allies, supporting the terrorists, and the goal is to have hegemony, and the other power is Russia with its allies. Their aim is to fight the terrorism and to restore the international law.
But why Syria was selected for this game?
For many different reasons. Syria is part of the group of countries that they are considered as independent. Syria, Iran, North Korea, and now Russia as an independent country. So the West doesn't accept any independent position. America doesn't accept any European independent position. And that's why you have problem in Russia with US, because you wanted to be independent. And they don't accept you, even if you're a great power or not, you cannot be independent. This is one reason. And we are a small country. How can we say no and yes? We have to say only yes. This one is the second. Geopolitics of Syria, the historic role of the Syrian society, although it's very small, but this is fault line, social fault line between the different sexes and ethnicities. And when you control this area, you could have controlled the rest of the Middle East. That's why the struggle on Syria started during the pharaohs. And the first treaty in the world was 12 centuries before Christ, was between the pharaoh and Hittites coming from north and south. They fought regarding on Syria, and they signed the first treaty in history. So the geopolitics of Syria is very important. So controlling Syria was a goal to the great powers since that time till this moment. So it doesn't matter whether Syria is big or small, or bigger or smaller.
Northern Syria, because of this agreement between America and Turkey, one which is Syrian soil.
We adopted two ways. The first one, and the main one, was the reconciliation. It succeeded. This is how we could have brought those areas back to their normality, where the people live in normal life and the government is controlling the life of the people through the institutions. The other one is attacking the terrorists. Whenever they don't give up and join the reconciliation, we're going to attack them and take control by force, which is not our favorable way. That is the only way to gain control of the country.
But strongly is destroyed. How hardly is destroyed. And as far as I know, you need $400 billion to restore the country. But West tells that they will not give a dime while you are in power. What can you do in this situation? Because you have to restore the whole country.
Frankly, this is the best statement during the war, best Western statement during the war, that they won't be part of reconstruction in Syria. Because very simply, we won't allow them to be part of it. Whether they come with money, without money, whether they came with loan or with donation, with the grant, whatever. We don't need the West. The West is not honest at all. They don't give, they only take. First of all, we didn't build Syria through history by foreign money. We built it with our money, with our human resources. We still, in spite of the war, we still have the human resources to rebuild every sector in our country. We're not worried about that. Regarding the money, before the war, we didn't have any debt because we built our country with loans, some loans from our friends. So we don't have money. You can have loans from your friends. You can have money from Syrians living abroad, Syrians living inside, and the money of the government. So we're not worried about that. It may take a longer time, but we're not worried at all about rebuilding Syria. Don't forget that reconstruction after the war, when you talk about 400 billion, less or more, this is approximate, is the whole economy. It's the whole market. It's the whole investment. So the Europeans talking about coming for reconstruction, they're not coming to help Syria. They're coming to get money. And many European companies now are making contacts with us to open the door for them to come and invest in Syria.
I mean in private here.
In private, of course, but of course with the support of their government. So they need this market. They are in a very dire situation economically since 2008, most of the European countries. They need many markets. Syria is one of them, and we're not going to allow them to be part of this market. Very simply.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for you.